Welcome back, folks, to the Stockwell Eldritch Show every Sunday, 10 a.m. here on AM 1280 The Patriot. Check us out on YouTube. You can see what everybody's wearing. Dawn and Stephanie and Mark, everybody looks great today. And
Mark missed the black memo, though. We're all in black.
Yeah, you're all in funeral clothes.
Everybody's wearing black. And you can,
I would prefer slimming clothes.
Yes,
right?
that's exactly it. Yeah.
Summer's coming, or here. And you go to Facebook under the Stockwell Eldritch Show or TC Real Estate Hour and find us there and find information. You can find Mark's information there and all of our other past shows, guests, and contact information there. And today we're talking about something. And unfortunately, in our society today, this is something that is more prevalent, more common, something that's probably more necessary than it was maybe in the past. And although maybe it was necessary all along, but it seems more necessary now. And you'd like to think, especially if you have kids like me, that your kids can just go on every day, go to school, be happy, carefree, looking at their cell phones if they don't have them yet, but when they get them, and playing with their friends and doing stuff and driving and going abroad and all that stuff without a lot of worry or concern. At least that's what it seemed like when I was in college and went abroad and things like that. There was not a major terrorist concern or anything like that. The main concern was probably drinking and partying. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Viral infections.
Yeah.
Well,
But nowadays you got to have this is a major deal. And it's kind of sad for me because you like to be able to just say, to not have to go out to the mall and sit around and think about looking around at everybody saying, is that someone bad? Is that someone bad? You should be able to just enjoy
Or
your
just
time
worried.
and focus on your family, your friends, and whatever you're doing. But anyway.
Well, even with the Jacob Wetterling, when that incident happened, that really changed also how people parented. I was running around like crazy when I was a kid, and I do not let my kids out of my sight. They are always in my sight. And I talk to them about strangers all the time. And even if the stranger has a gun, because one of my sons was like, well, if he has a gun, I should go with him. I'm like, no, turn around and run, because either way, you're probably going to get killed. Mm-hmm. Run. He's probably not going to shoot you if you're running away.
And it's actually that's a good time to even instill that in them too, to break contact as soon as they can. And that's more like tactical words or anything, or more of a military terminology for it. But really, that's what I try to teach people too when it comes to handling yourself in those types of situations in self-defense or in a violent threat and an encounter. Your main objective is to break contact and get away. If that means take a couple shots and get away, or make some other type of deviation from your path to just break contact with what you think that threat is. That's one of the types of tips that I like to give.
Well, I've seen those things, on Dateline, and they do it every time. And the parents parents are like, my kid would never fall for that. Yeah. And these predators, I shouldn't say men, but these predators are so good. They woo kids, woo them with a little puppy. You want to come see some more little puppies?
I've seen those videos too.
Yes, and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah. And the kid goes like that, and the parents are just shocked. Because they're talking about, if somebody's, asking you weird questions or touching you appropriately, they don't warn their kids about if somebody comes up and wants to, let you pet their dog and show you where their other puppies are or kitties are. No, you never, so. Yep. But so we were talking on the break then, Mark. So so when you teach these classes, you said it's an hour-long class that you teach. Can you give us a little bit of insight if we were to, so one, can I as an individual, do you do one-on-one classes or is it only group classes is one of my questions. And then what are some of the things that can you give us some insight that I could take away with if I did attend one of your classes?
Sure, absolutely. So when I set up the situation awareness classes, when I was getting Atlas Defense started, I decided that what I really want to concentrate on is delivering these classes consistently in a small group format, because a lot of the research that I've read, even when I was going to school and whatnot too, in small group communication really showed me that people learn the most from a small group, and that is from any group size from about, the ideal size is 4 to 7 people. Most of my classes are usually about 10 to 15, but even then, those small groups really help with people challenging one another, and the cross communication that goes on during that class too kind of helps further the development and the understanding of those skills too.
Sure.
So I always try to keep it at a small group. My firearms training, though, a lot of that is one-on-one, because I try to convey the gravity of choosing to carry a handgun as best as I can, and that is through one-on-one training.
Sure.
So,
I have a question. So, as agents, we meet people that we don't know often at a house. And so I think for people in that in our industry, I think it would be really helpful to go to a situational awareness class.
Oh, yeah.
Do you teach tactics if someone's coming up behind you, how to respond, or is it just
Yeah, and that's actually one of the exercises that we go through in the class too, and that's one of those classic scenarios that people get nervous about is what happens if I feel that somebody is following me. And a lot of the exercises that we do are not only we do some of the exercises in the classroom. Some of the exercises are guided exercises, mental visualizations, and some gamification too. So we actually make things into games to help you notice things in your surroundings. But also we get outside of the classroom, and what I do is I just show a couple of telltale signs that would show how to gauge how much interest that somebody has in you when they're following you. And ways to do that is, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of the free stuff, but
Okay.
but basically what it is that we set up one of those types of scenarios on the sidewalk, and just to give you guys a good view from other angles what it looks like when somebody is following you, when they're closing that distance, what it sounds like, and other parts of your environment that you can use to look behind you. That's using any other reflective surfaces of opportunity. And really, what it comes down to is trying to gauge how much interest that person has in you, and that can be by making a sudden turn and seeing if they're going to follow you. And at that point, that's when you're escalating from what we call condition yellow to condition orange in situational awareness, and that's when you're starting to have your plan ready. So as soon as you turn that corner, if your plan is to if you're carrying, maybe your hand is on your firearm when it's still in your purse. If you don't have a weapon, or if you have like pepper spray, then your hand is on your pepper spray. If you don't have any of that, then your hand is on your phone, already pre-dialed with 911. All those types of things. That's part of your escalation. That's part of your situational awareness of noticing what's going on and having a possible plan for reacting and trying to get that reaction down as quickly as you can, instead of being caught off guard. Because
If you're just joining us, folks, we have Mark Holly, Atlas Defense, and we're talking about situational awareness, protection, how you can protect yourself, and Mark Holly's information, atlasdefensemn.com. He's part of the Trust Vets,
yep.
group, which is great. We had Junk
Veteran-owned
360
businesses,
and
yep.
all veteran-owned businesses. So atlasdefensemn.com. That'll be on our Facebook page and our website, and Mark at atlasdefensemn.com. And so if you feel the need for this, or your organization feels the need for this, or anybody, anything like that, this would be great. And I'm just thinking on top of my head, like I think of what you're talking about there, Mark, with, women realtors, for example.
And I was going to say,
or male realtors too, but I think women are more susceptible.
I know. I was thinking we need to, get together. We should hire Mark for for agents.
I actually love realtors, because realtors are some of my favorite clients, because when I first started, I really wanted to also serve some of those demographics that got underserved by the rest of the firearms industry, and specifically that's females and the gay community, especially here in the Twin Cities. So that's why I do offer these classes. I try to target them more specifically to females, and with Pride coming up here soon too, I'm working with Pink Pistols. It's a gay gun group.
Oh, interesting.
cool.
We
Pink
go
Pistol.
out shooting like once every quarter, and I'm putting on situational awareness
Because
classes
that's
for
a
them,
group
too.
that's targeted.
Especially
typically.
because right around now, last year was when the Orlando shooting happened, and that was when my situational awareness classes blew up.
Yeah.
Right before Pride, because people were getting too scared to go out into public to these to these events.
And that's
that are out
exactly
in
Right.
the
what
open.
what they want to do when someone terrorizes
trying
a
to scare
community. They
people,
want to terrorize it and affect the finances of the community, the economy, and the people going out, and also create anxiety inside the community of everybody who says, "No, I don't want to go to a concert from whoever the singer
Ariana
or
Grande,
Ariana
yeah.
or Miley
Rihanna.
Cyrus or whoever it may be now, because you're afraid of an attack at the concert." So that's so unfortunate. But this stuff will help
But nowadays,
with that
remember the
situation.
Olympics? What was in Atlanta, right? Was there the bombing at the Olympic Village? I mean, it really is happening
Well,
everywhere.
look at all the sports games, all the activities, all the schools, all the things. There's so much. It's like an open target essentially for bad people that want to do bad things, because there's so many weaknesses.
Yeah.
It's so
And that's the way that
permeable.
they see it.
Well, and I would think more companies. I mean, I was thinking even like I was at the Vikings game where the people that were the Dakota Access Pipeline, and they snuck in all this stuff, and I was like, seriously? I mean, maybe I got the full pat down. They look at my purse. I'm like, how do these people get that stuff in there? And they were just okay. It was a really nice day out, and they were like, I mean, it was a warm winter day, and they were just covered and packed up because they had all this rigging gear. Underneath their clothing, and I'm like, how do they even get through the sensors? And then the person patting them down, you're patting them down, you don't feel like.
We don't know.
After my experience with that, I used to work a little bit of corporate security and security like that too. That's why I own my own business now, because I don't want to do that ever again.
Yeah.
But I know that all due respect to the guys that are out there that are doing that, but it's just sheer volume, and by the numbers,
flooding of people, just tons and tons of people.
And honestly, when it comes to a realtors too, I've seen that too. You guys are exposed to a whole lot of people at any given time, lots of new environments, and that's really where a lot of my firearms training clients and situation awareness has come through for you.
When we get back on the last segment, I want to touch base on a couple of opinions I have about the anxiety. We don't want to overcreate anxiety, and then also the concept of see something, say something. I want to have a couple questions on that for Mark. Stay tuned, folks.